What is up, guys? It's me again, and this is the second video today, but as you can tell, the settings are a little different. So I'm actually out in my garage now, aka the workshop, and this is what I've been doing the last couple of days. So I have been making some cutting boards. This is one. I got three more. Yeah, three more I have to sand. And then I have three in the house curing with mineral oil right now. But yeah, so pretty much when I was in school, I did wood shop, and this was one of the things that we learned how to do. And we actually did a small little business within the school, and then we went to a craft show or two, and we actually sold cutting boards, utensils, stuff like that. So now that I'm a stay-at-home dad for now, while all this stuff is going on, I was like, what do I have around the house that I could do? So I got my handy-dandy miter saw that I'm hoping to upgrade. I got clamps, I got wood glue, and I got a planer. And I was like, the only thing I'm missing is wood. So I went down, placed an order at our local hardwood store, and they're like, okay. They're like, give us a couple days and we'll have it ready for you. So waited a couple days, it showed up, and yeah, now I'm making cutting boards. I'm actually fulfilling an order right now. I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 8 cutting boards going to a retail store or a mom and pop shop. And if I had to learn, if I could tell anybody anything straight off the bat, it's please go to your mom and pop shops, because they're going to be the ones that are like, hey, we'll buy them straight from you and we'll let you know how it goes. Like, yeah, this may be a one-time thing, but the thing I've learned is that's all it takes is to get in the door, because then they'll be like, hey, we just brought on this guy. He makes cutting boards and other stuff, and we really like it, but we just don't have the foot traffic to sell it. So, yeah, in that point, it's kind of defeating. But really, if the product you can 110% stand by, like the cutting boards I'm making right now, I would plaster my name all over them. I use one myself that I've made, and that is a big thing right there. That's a big sell point, because if you can back your product and you use your product and you figure out what works and what doesn't work, you're golden. And the big thing about small businesses or just doing a part-time job, like a little side hustle, whatever you want to call it, the big thing is you have to be able to work with the community or the buyer, because if you're not willing to do that, you already dug yourself a hole. And honestly, you don't want that. You don't want a hole to start off with. Right now, the only thing I have invested in this is about $78, and I've got 8 cutting boards, and I'll be able to pretty much pay myself back for the wood, place another order, and then probably get some more sandpaper. But with that, with the $75 worth of wood, I have this right here. And this is like 4 stacks deep in it. So I could easily make probably another 10 to 15. Now, say 10 to 15, let's just say 10. At $20 a piece, that's $200. Now, I'm no mathematician or brain whiz or anything like that. That's some pretty good money for only investing $75 for the wood. And then if I keep getting orders, if I keep ordering wood as I use it, then when I get a new miter saw, a table saw, a new planer, and I can start pushing these things out faster, that's more money in my pocket and my family's pockets. Food on the table, bills are paid. We can start stashing money for our house because right now we rent. But all you have to do is keep working. Don't go and be like, oh, I'm gonna go to 8 different mom and pop shops and they're gonna want 30 boards all together. I'll tell you right now, unless you have everything and you're like, hey, and you have somebody else to do it and you guys can do it a good portion of the day, I wouldn't do it because I can only come out when my son's napping and the other kids are at school or everything else inside the house is done. Kids are fed. They're playing with toys. My son's fed, taking a nap. And then when my fiance gets home from work, if it's not any of those, I'm in the house and I'm getting stuff done in the house while I'm waiting to come out here. And the big thing is if you are waiting to come out in the garage or shop or whatever it is, the big thing to do is get yourself to the point where you can be like, okay, cool. These have to dry. I just glued up 4 cutting boards. I have to let them dry. Have to feed the kids lunch. Clean up the house a little bit. That should take me about an hour or 2, maybe a little longer. Perfect. Because now, when you come back out in a couple hours, the glue's dried. You can take them off the clamps. Then you can put more back on. You can set the 4 that you just glued aside to let them cure even longer. Because what I try doing is I try letting the glue sit for at least a full day. Half the day, maybe a little less depending on the temperature. I want them clamped together so it gives them a good solid connection. After that, I let them sit there and I can go move on. So right now with the tote that I have, let's just say I can make 10 cutting boards. I could get all 10 glued, sanded, and finished in like 2 days with what I do, like with the system I have. Now, when I get a miter saw that comes out and extends to 12 inches, perfect. I don't need a table saw anymore. And that's just it. That's another thing I wish somebody told me, is you don't need every tool to make it work. Now, when I get bigger projects, if somebody wants a custom ordered countertop, live edge countertop, then I'm going to need a table saw or a circular saw, which I have. And you can go on YouTube and you can look at anything circular saw table. And they have ways that you can fasten the circular saw upside down so it's like a table saw. So that right there just saved you a couple $100. Maybe not that much, but a good amount. So take your time, do your research, and don't start something you don't have like, hey, I want to do this. I want to do this for me. I want to do this for my family. I want to do this for my loved ones that want to support me. Because if you can't do it for yourself, there's no sense in doing it. If it's like, oh, here I go back out in the garage, workshop, and I'm going to go waste an hour or 2, maybe a little longer. Don't even bother. Don't do it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Just don't. Because if you can't do it for yourself, there's no sense in doing it. This is what I like doing. And if I can do this part-time and still be a stay-at-home dad, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, there might be a time where I have to go get a part-time job when all 3 kids are in school. Okay, cool. So be it. I'll do this part-time. And if I can, I'll still do cutting boards. If not, I'll be like, hey, this is the last time I can do it. Or I can do smaller batches more frequently. Or I could just do one big batch and bring it in once a month and do that. So pretty much, If you have an idea and you have the get up and go to do it, go for it. Because the chances are you're going to find a market for it as long as you do your research and it's not oversaturated. If it's oversaturated, come up with something different or go to a different area, Even if I have to drive half hour, 45 minutes, say if I get 5 clients that want 10 boards each, then that's worth my time, not only for gas, materials, but also to kind of give myself a little spending room. So if I have to get a new blade or I have to get a new sander or anything like that. So don't market your product where you're just breaking even. Now, in my area, there's people spending $45, $50 on a cutting board. I figured out how I can keep the labor rate low, where I can pump out 7 or 8 cutting boards in a matter of a couple hours, and I can still keep it around $15. So at $15, I'm making more than enough, because really I'm only investing $8 worth of labor, maybe another $2 in material per cutting board. See, I charge $20, so I'm making $10 either way. I'm using $10 to pay back what I put into it, plus another $10 profit. Now that's just locally. If not, and you're traveling out a little longer, you're going to want to charge a little bit more. And the big thing is don't keep changing your rates. When you go to a client and be like, hey, would you be interested in cutting boards? Yeah, I am. How much would they be? Well, for you, since I have to travel, it'll be a little bit more expensive. So if they want a big batch, add $15, $20 to that batch total, and then keep it at that. If you have to keep raising and lowering your prices, they're going to be like, why would I want to come here if they're not consistent? That's another thing people look for, is consistency. It doesn't even matter if you're making a product or buying a product. It doesn't matter. Consistency is key. If you can't have consistency, it's nothing. Like just because it's the time of year, eggnog, you want that like creamy consistency or texture, if you want to call it. You don't want something that gets thrown back like water, because then you're like, oh, this is gross. It's like that with everything. Cutting boards, utensils, car maintenance, car detailing, anything. Consistency is key. So, with that being said, if you guys would like to see me do some cutting boards, see what I do, if you would like a layout of how I do things, let me know. Because if you guys are interested in this, I've seen things on YouTube where I'm like, oh, like this is kind of hitting on what I need, but it's not hitting it right on the head. So, if you guys comment down below what you want to know, learn, or if even you can teach me something, then that's awesome. So, comment down below, subscribe if you're new, turn on post notifications, and my Instagram is in the link down below. Make sure you follow me, because there will be a giveaway coming soon. So, yeah, guys, I will see you next time. Peace.